Welcome to the show today, everyone. I'm excited about this topic. We have not actually talked about this topic at all in the 8 years I have been podcasting. We're going to talk about financial planning from an abundance mindset. And when I talk about financial planning, I mean actual financial planning, not looking at things from a broader perspective with general. We're talking about really specifically financial planning. So again, if you're new to my show, you found this on YouTube, I just want to say, this is my show. So what that means is I'm going to talk. And if you don't like me, that's totally cool. If they want more of just you, Gaea, because they want to find out more about financial planning and they want to skip through this whole thing, where can they go to find out more from you?
Yeah, so my website is www.legacyonelife, and it's all spelled out ONE. So legacyonelife.com.
Perfect. And if you're on the podcast, know that we did do a video. Come on over to jjflazanes.tv so you can meet Gaea. If you're coming to the Awaken Your Dream Life event, you will meet her in person. And if you listen to the show regularly, you heard her last week. She's in the mastermind. So you've gotten a lot of Gaea this year, actually. But now we're going to specifically talk about what it is that she does, how she does it, why I'm inviting her on the show, since this is not normally, we don't talk about money necessarily. But when she came to the event last year and said, I do financial planning sort of from a spiritual perspective, I was like, what? Okay, well, we got to have you on the show, because there are a lot of people out there who would love to work with someone on the same page as them in all capacities, whether it be, when I was looking for a house, I really thought I wanted to use someone. Had I had the opportunity to start over and choose someone because I didn't already know somebody, I would have gone with someone who practices law of attraction, someone who teaches quantum physics. I would have loved to have worked with someone in that capacity. So I wanted to invite her onto the show so she could share with you what she does, the way she does it, and why she's different. And obviously we all need what it is that she does. And if you don't have it, then we're going to talk about that. So welcome to the show, Gaea.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So let's just start off with a little bit about you, so people can get to know you a little bit, like how you got to do what you're doing right now. If you want to tell a little bit about how you got even into this community a little bit, you can. But more importantly, we just want to know a little bit more about you and why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so that's there's a lot of ways to answer that question. I am a California girl, and I live in Ventura now, so I'm basically JJ's neighbor, lucky me. And I came here through a different career path. I worked for the cruise line for 6 years, 4 years exclusively on a ship. And then they asked me to come to the corporate offices, which was in Santa Clarita. And I said, I'm not living in Santa Clarita. I'm going to live at the beach. And so anyway, that job had a time frame in my mind, because I was living out of a suitcase. And so after that, and another career after that, I took some time off and did some soul searching, like real true soul searching, like what is it that I really want to do? And as JJ knows, but for all of you, I grew up in a very Abraham household, as I would call it. Our dad practiced Abraham and taught us a lot. So I always came from this mindset of the spiritual mindset on things. So when I took that 9 months off to do some true soul searching, what do I really want to do with myself and my life and my career path? Somehow along the way, I met the right people that got me to where I am today. And so that's a long story of how I got into financial planning, but I wanted to do something that I could help others while also help myself, but give me like more of who I am, and the more nurturing, caring way, but also teach the tools and the topics that I do. So
it's not too many financial planners, I think, you're going to meet that do law of attraction. So that know Abraham. So that's an important connection for you guys in this community to talk about financial planning, again, from an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. And what does that mean? And where are we in the stages of that? So Gaea, if you were to speak to, again, so you're in this business now and you did your soul searching, and what do you love about it? And what do you think most people don't understand about finance? Like if you meet people who, like I remember a story about a woman who had just gotten divorced and she came into some money. Like what are some things people don't realize about financial planning? Like you think are some misconceptions that they might have, or some resistance to starting this conversation?
Well, if I could speak specifically to that one, she called and was fearful. She said, I have this money that I got through a divorce settlement, but I'm afraid of the market. I'm afraid of losing it. I'm afraid. And I just kind of talked to her differently and said, we don't want to start from a place of fear, because right there, that's not getting us anywhere. And instead of talking to her straight about finances, I more coached her on her own personal healing journey and her some books that she could read, not for finances, to help her through this fearful feeling that she was having, because she had always been a stay-at-home mom. And so I said, I'm also a mother, and I can help guide you in how to, find your talents and become confident in your own career path, that you don't need to feel like you have to have the spouse to do it for you. And then just by having that conversation right there, she's like, oh my gosh, you're the perfect fit for me. Yes, I want to meet with you. Yes, I want you to help me with my money. So I don't often approach my conversations just how much money do you have? Where is it kept? What is it invested in? I don't ever start it there. Some people want to start there telling me that, but I prefer to ask, who are you? Who are you as a person? What lights your fire? What do you do in your personal time? What are your life ambitions? What are your goals? Yes, that includes money, and it includes retirement, and it includes so many things, but I want to know everything, the whole picture, the holistic view of who my clients are before I ask about their money. And then it leads to the money conversation.
Well, that's one of the things I appreciate about you in terms of the touch time that you have with your clients, and I'm thinking back to some people that I know, other financial planners, and it's very tight. It's very like the suit and the product pushing and the numbers only. And as we all know in this environment, that money is energy, and there is definitely a charge to it. And for a lot of people, unfortunately, the charge is negative, because it means either lack of, or they have some trauma there. And it's looking at, well, that if someone's talking numbers, I mean, shame comes up. I know for me, shame came up definitely for a long time, about either not being in a certain place or not being able to make a certain amount. And it wasn't even about the money. It was more about the effort versus like what I was getting back from that. But at some point, and I know one of the things that we developed for the promotion that we had last week with the mastermind for you was your financial planning starter kit, and which includes a risk tolerance assessment. And I remember when I was younger and I did my whole life insurance, which you offer, and I remember thinking, my person was she's a low risk tolerance. Like, she doesn't take big risks, but this is so smart for you to start this young. And I felt really good about myself that there are things that as a younger person without a lot of money to invest, that I could do something that would get me, that would, compound over time, that I would feel really good about, that I could set in motion right now. But I know getting over that shame piece for a lot of people who, and those of you that have a lot of money or have money in different places, and maybe it's not performing for you and you need to look at that. Then on the other side, whether you work with them or not, what would be your advice to the people who are afraid to look at the money?
Well, everyone should be looking at their money. And even if you're married, both spouses need to look at it as well. And don't look at it from a place of fear. Even if you don't have it, the reason you probably don't have it is because you always think about how much you don't have. So if you can change your thinking and start finding little ways here and there to have money, whether it just being a small tweak, like we made those budgets, you said, we made the Dream Big budget, which is the people that have money, but they're not quite getting to those dreams. So how can you get to those dreams? The Tesla, or the second house, the vacation home, or the huge travel vacation once a year, or I want to retire with $3 million, whatever your dream big budget is. But we also made the tighten up budget. And that could be for the people that say, I don't have enough left to put over here in something for me. One thing I always say, if you're paying the government, you should be paying yourself, right? If you have a retirement plan, you can put money in before you're even paying the government. So there's always a way to put a little bit in. If you can just fine tune little tweaks in your life, skip the Starbucks, or I don't know. Does that answer your question, JJ?
Yeah. One of the things so in this promotion, which has kind of ended. I mean, today's kind of the last day for the promotion.
Mhm.
So go to jjfullzanes.com/support. But one of the things that Gaea is offering, and we'll extend Gaea's offer for another week. So it's a limited time offer, but you want to come over to the page and get her sheets. So what we created was the financial planning starter kit, which is your risk tolerance assessment to see how much you can risk and what kind of personality you are when it comes to investing. And if you don't know, then I encourage you to take it so that you do know, and you can sort of see your relationship with money or risk, or how much you believe in yourself, how much you believe in your ability to manifest money, to make money, to get the opportunities. But we also created, and for those of you that are out there that are more like me in the right-brained way, I've always hated budgets. And so one of the things that I hate budgets because I feel restricted by budgets. And so Gaea's offering 3 budgets, and we kind of went playful with it, like the dream big budget, which is like, here's what I want to have. And then you work backwards potentially with, how do I get there? And then there's sort of like your normal budget, like what do I normally spend money on if it's just like a normal week or month or year. And then there's like the tighten up budget when you're not in another lifetime. I called it low, medium, and high. And the goal is to have a bit of a more relaxed freedom about budgeting, because you can always go between them. You can always choose it.
And the budget's plan for me, if someone wants financial planning with me, I have to know the spending, because that's going to tell us if we can get to the financial planning goal that you have. So that budget worksheet is crucial for me to see if someone wants to do planning, because the spending plays a big part of that.
Right. And it's also in planning to work with somebody, right? It's looking at, okay, well, maybe you're not ready. For some of you, you're not ready yet. For a lot of you, you have it. And so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk to you guys and really kind of hone in on some of that fine tuning of that. But for a portion of you guys that aren't really ready for that yet, and you think, gosh, I wish I had some extra. Like, I have somebody working with someone else to find the money because the person's making a lot more, but isn't keeping it. I'm like, okay, there's a problem. There's a hole in the boat. We got to patch the hole in the boat. So please go figure out where that is. And so when we're looking at the budgets, it's a place to start. And again, if you have resistance, it's all pre-calculated. They're beautiful. You can go, do the big dream one first, because it's super fun, and dream, allow yourself to be in the frequency and vibration of attracting anything that you want, knowing that you can attain it, and play with that. And then you can go to the low and say, what would I have to give up? What would I have to save? How much would I have to, where could I make changes in order to get the money to invest, and so that it could work for me. So let's
did you do it yet, JJ?
I just downloaded them. I'm going to be doing the dream big. Are you kidding me? That one is fun. I think that one is something everyone needs to do, just to get in the vibration of.
Even I do them often.
Absolutely. Well, because our dreams change. Your goals change. I mean, that's one of the things that you've talked about working with your clients. You want to be the first person they call when something changes, so you can look at what we need to adjust in your plan, right?
Yep, exactly.
Do you want to talk about some of those life experiences?
I tell my clients, I hope I'm one of the first people they call when anything changes: a retirement, a new baby, an inheritance, a death in the family, a job change. Because all of those have a conversation that I will have with my client. We can do college planning for a new baby. If someone passes away, is there a life insurance policy? I have a survivor's guide checklist. If someone passes away, I can help them step by step on what to do. A new career. Did you have a 401k at your old job? Should we be rolling it over? There's just, every life change is something I need to know about.
Right. And for a lot of financial planners that I know, they're not wanting to be that involved. They're not wanting to have that kind of touch time, right? It's more like, you tell me, you're responsible for telling me. And if you don't tell me, but you're encouraging it, I think there's a different energy in really looking at the whole picture. So let's talk about who your ideal client is. Like, who do you work with? Who's ready and to look at the things that you do?
Yeah, so I've been in this business close to 13 years now. And so my ideal client has kind of evolved over time. I do run a decent sized practice, and I do have two assistants now, thanks to JJ encouraging me to hire one other person. But so we're a team, and we look for the more seasoned long-term investors. So people that have invested before, but aren't getting the advice they want or the interaction that they want with their advisor, the right conversations. And people that want an independent, so I'm an independent financial advisor. We might touch on that a little bit more later in the show, but
why don't you explain that right now?
okay, so should I talk about my journey from Edward Jones? So
Sure.
I actually got my start with Edward Jones. Most of you probably heard of Edward Jones, or a very large brokerage firm. It was a great place to get my start. They taught me so much. I was there almost 9 years, but there was something missing for me. I really wanted to not have a sales goal to follow every month and push products and have proprietary or certain investments that I had to talk about. So I decided to go out and look what else is out there. I had a couple friends in the industry that went independent. So I contacted LPL Financial, which is the largest independent brokerage firm across the US. And I went to San Diego, visited their home office, and it just took that one visit and I was ready to move. It was not an easy move. It was the hardest year of my career. But I'm so glad I did. So now as an independent financial advisor, I really work for you, my client. That's it. I have no products that I have to sell, although the variety of investments and services that I can offer is huge and wide, much more than I could do at Edward Jones, like overwhelmingly more, which is why I rely on my product partners to teach me what's best. And LPL has an amazing research department. So I always have someone to call if I need help with products or investments or whatnot, but I can sell almost anything now and I don't have a sales goal. So my goal is making my clients happy. That's my only goal.
And finding the right products for them. Like there
Yeah,
are,
well,
which
yes.
which I'm sure everyone tries to do anyway, but maybe you have more options. Like you have a wider range of things to
Huge.
choose from than, let's say, somebody at a firm who is really attached to whatever is being told they need to sell, right?
Correct. Yeah. And I also do things a bit differently where I don't really use a lot of I use mostly custom built portfolios. I don't use a lot of the models unless a client wants a model. So I have access to model portfolios where if someone says, I just want to put money here and talk to you minimally and let it do its thing, I have access to a lot of those. But most of my clients want the interaction with me and they want to pick and choose investments with me. And no two portfolios look the same. So they're very customized to the client's risk, goals, personality. Sometimes it's about their beliefs. Some people say, oh, we don't want anything that manufactures guns, or we don't want tobacco, or we want a green portfolio, an ESG portfolio. So I can customize them more to my clients' beliefs or feelings on things. Someone says, I shop at Target every day, we're going to buy Target. I drive a Tesla, we're going to buy Tesla. So we can really customize it to the client. So that's more on the investment side of things rather than the planning, but yeah.
Well, but we have to, the point of planning, wouldn't it be to have your money work for you to invest it?
Yes. But they're a little bit some people sign up with me just for financial planning. Most of the time that leads to an investment relationship. Some people come in and don't want to pay for the planning. They feel like they've got it all figured out, but they need someone to manage their money. So I can do all of it. I prefer to do the planning with the investment management because it allows me to know more of you, the whole picture. But some certain clients, they just bring me a chunk of money and they want investment management. But for the most part, I want to do both.
Let's talk about some of the products that you work with that people aren't thinking about, because I know for me, until you start listing them, like Owner K. So for those of you that are, and we're going to be doing that in the Conscious Business Academy, you're going to be talking about things specifically for small business owners or just business owners, because I don't, as an independent company, my own company, I don't have a 401k, but I can get an Owner K, which I haven't had, but I need. So I will be having Gaea, do that for me before the end of this year. But let's just talk about some of the products. See, until you mention it, people aren't thinking about it. They're thinking, or if someone has a 401k and they don't realize that the person, like, what their return is much lower than if they put that money somewhere else. Anyway, continue.
Yes.
I just want to go.
So I'm going to change the wording on it a little bit. The products would be more investment specific, which I cannot talk about on a podcast, but the vehicles, the investment vehicles, or the way that we set up the accounts, I can talk about that. So that's what you're referring to anyway. So yes, for retirement planning, there's many different investment vehicles. There's the traditional IRAs, the Roth IRAs. Traditional is pre-tax money that grows tax deferred. Roth is after-tax money that grows tax-free and comes out tax-free. But then for small businesses or business owners, there's a lot more options. So we have, as you were mentioning, we have owner Ks for owner-only companies. So like myself and JJ, who we own our own company, and we're just our only employees. Then there's SEP IRAs, simple IRAs for smaller businesses, and then you can get 401ks for larger businesses. On a 401k, I can connect clients and their businesses with a third-party administrator and a 401k company, and then I can oversee the 401k, but I can't investment advise on it. I can educate. So that's a little bit of a different ball game with me, but I can oversee all of it. And then there's also insurance strategies to use towards retirement, which I'm really big on.
Right. Like
There's
whole life policies, like Kaizen.
Kaizen.
Yeah.
LIRP stands for life insurance retirement plan. There's IULs, and Kaizen is a newer strategy that I'm working with right now.
And you talked about college planning for your children?
Yes. So we at LPL can't open college plans direct, but we can help facilitate the paperwork to a college, a mutual fund company that offers college planning, and I can advise on it once it's open. Yeah. Yeah.
You're just like a store with like all kinds of different products when it comes to money. So if you want to grow your money, and you want to take the money that you already have and have it work more for you, and you want to figure out how to manifest more, then Gaea's your gal. So what about the industry? And I thought one of the most important points that you brought up too, in thinking back to like working for yourself as an independent versus working for a company. I mean, I'd imagine that there would be some kind of savings in a way, or not savings, but more like it's more efficient. Because there's not like multiple layers of people that get paid in a way. It's almost like we cut out the middleman and it goes straight. I mean, would that be accurate?
So I always recommend people make it automatic. Is that what you mean? So yeah.
No, I'm talking about you versus someone that works.
Got it.
Independent versus someone that works for the bank.
Yeah. I mean, coming to me, you're going to get more personalized attention. You're going to get hugs in my office. You're going to get, you could talk to me about anything and everything. Obviously I still have to work on a calendar, so I have to stay a little bit to my meeting times, but I definitely run over and get more chatty with my clients and like to hear everything about their life. But also just the time to sit down and choose investments together and things like that. So, I hope that answered your question, but being independent, I think being independent is just a beautiful thing for both myself and my clients, because, for example, when I was at Edward Jones, I had a sales goal, and if I wasn't meeting my goal that month for whatever reason, I felt like I had to pick up the phone and call clients and say, let's switch this for that or whatever. And it never felt good, but I was, I was always trying to still do the right solution for the client. It's not like I was doing things I shouldn't, but it just somewhere deep in me felt like, is this right? Or am I doing this because I'm kind of told I have to? There was always a little bit of an unsettled feeling for me, and I don't have that anymore. And it's so nice. My goals are what I set for myself and to make my clients happy. And the other thing is, right now we're in a down market. It's been a hard year. this year in the markets, if you're all out here listening to this and saying, oh, my portfolio is down 20% or 30% or whatever, I just want to say, hold on. That's I can't give advice, but this is market volatility is normal part of investing. And a lot of what I do with my clients is just really educate them. And I will say my phone has not been ringing with these markets. I think I do a good job in guiding people through, you know, the emotional part of investing as well, and how you can actually make it work for you into growing it bigger and stronger and better when we do come out of this time, or we're finding pockets of opportunity when things are down. So
Yeah. So what's your favorite part of working with people besides the personal connection about what it is that you do as a financial planner?
oh man, there's so many good parts. Well, I love the relationships. I'm definitely like a people person, and I love meeting new people and learning about them and listening to their stories and figuring out how that can like play into their portfolio. I think I've told you too, JJ, that, well, I know I've told you, like, to me, the financial piece is just one aspect of getting to your goals. So you have to, I like to talk to my clients about healthy eating and exercise and what do they like to do for fun, you know, are they out, you know, whatever, are they into wine, and we learn little tidbits about them, and we do what's called surprise and delight. So there's a birthday or like a milestone birthday or a milestone anniversary, or they're going on a trip, we like to send little things or whatever. So I love just getting to know people, my clients, and they become friends. And I think that's the best part. And also that I can be here in my own little space. And when I need to just put my head into something and check out, I have this beautiful little office just for me that I can really study or learn the markets or learn the next investment strategy. And then I can get excited and call people and tell them about it. So just constantly educating myself and learning new tools to help better other people's future. And in the end, it helps me because I learn what I'm teaching them, and then I do it for myself. So
one of the things I think you said, I don't know if it was in the testimonial or if it was in your video on the jjfullzanes.com/support page, but it was sort of the understanding, or not the understanding, that like the evolution of you too, like you get to be your full self as an independent to help people in all capacities. And you're a good example of discipline and hard work and abundance mindset, which is kind of what you want in a person. And, you know, to make it more about the holistic point of view versus they're just looking at you and judging you or assessing you based on your numbers. It's that trajectory of what do you need to make this better? How do we do more? And it's not just necessarily always it's about the mindset. It's about the mindset, the energy, the belief, the fun, the play, the dedication, the discipline, and all of that I think
I can tell pretty much right away on one phone call if a client's going to be a right fit for me. And it's just through a conversation like this. And if they're not, I say that, but in a really kind way. And I always have someone I can refer someone to that might be a better fit. So
awesome.
yeah.
So I would encourage you all to get Gaea's gift because it will only be free for the next week after this podcast is over. So before the end of September, and jjfullzanes.com/support. You can also check her out. You can call her directly. If you don't want the budget, you have your budget, you're all good with that. You know, your risk tolerance, you're ahead of the game. You just want to get straight to her. You give the your website address again and your social media.
If you call me, I don't usually answer my own phone. Leah answers my phone most of the time, or it might go to voicemail, but I always call back. I'm just usually pretty scheduled throughout the day, so it's rare that I pick up my phone. But my phone number is 805-330-9680.
Website again, Legacy One.
Legacy One ONE, so legacy1life.com. Yeah.
That link plus the phone number, everything we've mentioned will be in the show notes below this video. Or if you're listening on the podcast, click more, I think, to show more for the podcast notes, and you can get that directly so you don't have to write that down. So on the topic of abundance mindset, what are some quick things you can like help you, that get you into that you think others would benefit from?
That helped me.
Yeah. Or the things that
Well,
you've suggested to people to get more of an abundance mindset.
I mean, I actually talk to people about using the tools that I use, and a lot of them are what we use together with you, JJ. So I will talk a little bit how I found JJ real quick, and that will lead to this. So my sister, Krista Berkeley,
Shout out to Krista.
she's been listening to JJ for years and ended up signing up for her empowerment strategist course. And I was really proud. I was and am proud of Krista for doing that. She grew up in the same house I did, but I think needed to find a JJ to really get her into that practice again. Through having a family and kids and everything, she kind of got out of that for a little bit, not out of it, but wasn't practicing it fully. And so when she met JJ and told me about JJ's boot camp last year, she wanted me to go. And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. I already feel like I'm doing all this type of stuff, but I could always learn more. And I was going through something personally. So that kind of pushed me over the edge. I'm like, well, maybe I'll go there from a personal standpoint, just in my own relationship and life. And so I did. I went with my sister to the boot camp. I was kind of to myself at the boot camp, which isn't like me. I'm very social butterfly out there, but I really was processing at your boot camp. And when they had all the night events and the dance parties and the dinners, I was kind of scooting out and going and processing everything that we were going through the day. So definitely not going to be me at Awaken Your Dream Life. I will be present for all things. But after that, or during that meeting, there was a time where JJ called on me to answer something. And then she said, well, how are you going to further this when you leave here? And I was like, I don't know. And then I looked down at my desk and I had already filled out her paper to join her mastermind group. And I stood up and I'm like, wait, I do know. And I was the first one to sign up for the mastermind at the boot camp last year. So I joined the mastermind and I'm super glad that I did. And I've had this great connection with JJ. And so to answer your question, how do I then teach others to do this? I mean, really, like if you guys come to my office, I have little things everywhere. I have crystals on my desk and I have a calendar saying like, this is the You Are a Badass calendar, but it's all the same thinking, right? It's universal law. I have books on my desk. I have journals that say the words. So people that come in here, they see it right away. I have the Ho'oponopono prayer up on my wall. So I already have all that. And then just the talking to clients, like journal your goals, or fill out the dream big budget, or change your thoughts around money. You know, I do say money is energy, like, or if we give, the more we give, the more we're going to receive. I say all those things. I've always said them. So I think it just comes across in who I am to my clients. And then being with you has just made it that much stronger part of my practice.
Well, one thing you didn't mention that I was going to, but I thought it's that story we told about the client who just got divorced and came into some money and was afraid of what to do with it. I mean, Gaea was texting me and saying, what podcast would you give to this person? And I think I gave you, and I didn't know who we were talking about. I think I gave you 12 and you're like, okay, that's good. And I'm like, well, I thought it was for a friend or somebody I had met before. And I didn't realize it was someone brand new. So I overloaded you with podcasts, but yeah,
she was grateful.
Okay, well, you're a good resource sharer and you walk your talk. You want somebody who models what it is you want to do, who you can trust, who you feel confident about, and who also is connected. I think one of the things that when we worked together this year with identifying ideal clients, one of the things that you really wanted to stress, again, in a boundary kind of way, and this isn't across the board, but it's like, I want to work with people who care about all the things that I care about, like that are disciplined, that do eat healthy, care about their body, that they want to be positive. And like, and again, because that is part of the energy that you can work with to help even get better. And so I really, appreciate that kind of fine tuning to say who would receive best from me, who could I help the most, and who would respect and be in alignment and resonate with me, because again, we share some similar values. Not that you couldn't work with someone who doesn't, but again, obviously you want to find the right connection, you want to find the right vehicles, you want to find the right plan. You want to find the right everything to make sure it's a fit. And it's a really personal thing. Your money is personal. Does it have to be? No, but most of us do hold it. We don't talk about it. We have shame around it. We have regret. We have whatever. It's like, you want to find the person who you feel comfortable being honest, who is on your team, who is cheerleading you on, yet being really smart about everything. So it's, sort of the combination. So I appreciate that about.
And I will say, being a woman, I feel like gives me a little edge in this business too. There's statistics out about it, but just working with a woman on your finances. I actually posted an article on my Facebook last week or 2 weeks ago about some of the top billionaires like Jeff Bezos. And there was a couple, they have women managing their finances. It's just because we have a more nurturing approach, like a bigger picture approach. I don't care what anyone says, we're better multitaskers, we're better, So there's just something, and there's not a lot of women. There are now more and more women in my industry, but it's definitely a male dominated industry. So I think for anyone who's worked with a male advisor, there's a lot of great male advisors out there. I'm not knocking the male advisors. I know a lot of them, but there is just a bit of a difference. So.
Yep. So if you are ready to consider financial planning in a more abundant mindset way, you're ready, you're an investor already, you just want to take some of the money you have that's not really doing anything for you and make a plan, please reach out to Gaea. You will get a little bit of a strategy session for free. Again, if you go to jjfullzanes.com/support, click on Gaea's gift, and you'll get all the things we talked about, the budgets and the risk tolerance quiz, and then you can get on her calendar and you guys can just chat about what your goals are and make a strategy and see if it's a fit and if you got the goods and if you're ready to go. And we can do this from an excitement of manifesting more money, and it's even just having your money work for you. And that's really, at the end of the day, some people have investments in certain things and it's just sitting there not doing anything. And when you can take that and leverage a good law of attraction word, a good abundance mindset word, leverage. Are you leveraged in the best way possible, or are you missing? Are you missing money because you're in a safe thing that doesn't earn anything and it's not doing anything for you? So definitely reach out. Again, all of her information is below. Gaea, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, everyone.